Donald Trump said, you know what, if Canada becomes the 51st state, we'd have better medical coverage.
Absolutely. The medical system in Canada is unsustainable. It's so top heavy.
Yeah.
It is so inefficient bureaucracy that there is absolutely no way that it's sustainable long term.
This is something that I should be corrected. I heard this on, I think it was a newscast. I can't remember where it was, but they were talking about the medical system in Canada. And from what I understand, the government only allows a certain amount of doctors to be trained every year. Mm-hmm. You are not allowed, like, it's not that you can, like, if you go for a degree in philosophy or whatever, you can go to and pay your money and get it done. But you cannot do that with being a doctor. Mm. There is a quota system.
Yeah. There
and
is.
You are restricted. And I'm going, what?
They're restricted too as to what they can do to a person, like how many operations they can do in a month.
Sure, yeah.
There's all sorts of like.
And I'm going, you know what? I've driven way down south where hospitals and medical systems down in the States, they rent billboards, and they've got it written up there. 20-minute wait. Right now, there's a 20-minute wait to see your doctor. 13 minutes, and it changes all the time. 13 minutes to your next ER visit.
Yeah.
And they brag and they sell that.
Yeah.
So they want your money. They want to be there for you. Here,
are you kidding?
I've got 2 weeks to see a doctor, and then
man, I had a month and a half.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like it's absolutely.
And then if you go to the emergency
evil.
or a walk-in or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, if you go to a walk-in just here down at the local mall, you have to get there basically 15 minutes before they open or half an hour before they open to get so that you're on the list of an appointment. So you're there at whatever 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and then you say, okay, now you're going to be in at 11:15. Okay, so now you go home, do whatever, and then you come back at 11. That's how a walk-in works in Canada, and that's an efficient one. You know,
yes, it is.
Because otherwise, if I go to where we had our doctor who was in Winnipeg, I mean it's a month to a month and a half before you get an appointment.
Yeah,
and so I mean, if you have a strong head cold and you need antibiotics or something like that, you got to go to the walk and you got to be there early and you got to it's horrible. That's not medical. That's no. Whatever.
I go back to a conversation I had years ago. I was delivering in Wisconsin at a steel mill. It was lunchtime, and these guys weren't taking nothing off my trailer, so I sat in the lunchroom with them. They were talking and griping about their medical. Oh, I've got this. I have to pay this much for medical and this, and then these guys are standing. I'm just standing in the corner and listening to them, right? And they said, "Oh, you're a Canadian. You got everything paid for." And they went on a little bit, and I said, "You know what, guys? I really don't want to burst your bubble, but you've got it better than we do. For one, technically, I don't even know how much my medical coverage costs me personally. They hide it in all my taxes and everything. And the other thing is you can pick a doctor, and this was over 10 years ago. I told them you can pick a doctor and go anywhere, pay the money, and get whatever done you want. Yeah. You can do that. You have that option. I do not. I have to come to the U.S. and pay to get a procedure done that if our government says, no, it's not priority enough, it doesn't get done. But I did tell them, as if you're in an emergency, a life-death emergency, we have got comparable and maybe even in some places better than the U.S. Yeah. But if you're dying and you're almost dead, we can do just about anything that everyone else can do. Yes. I have total faith in that. It's just we have no options before that.
No.
Yeah. We've got if it's not life and death, we can die in a waiting room. No problem.
And people have.
Oh, yeah.
My uncle had a heart attack in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew there was something wrong, and they made him sit there, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
That's
and
normal.
Even
We
even
took that
for our
into-
dad, like
Yeah.
he was really sick. We knew there was something really wrong, and it still took 16 to 18 hours
Yeah.
before we got things done. And then
then I had to be a jerk.
yeah,
I had to ball out that nurse.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
it was 20 minutes later, there
Yeah.
was 3 tests that were on the way, and
Yeah.
you have to be a jerk.
yeah,
I'm like, they should
No,
have
and
jerk classes.
yeah.
I could teach.
but even an MRI right now is 2-year waiting.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Unless there's they know there's something seriously wrong, then
sure.
they're gonna know.
Yeah,
then you
emergency, they can
somebody
get
knows
you
how to press
in.
the buttons.
Yeah,
yeah,
they can
but
do that.
lots of people are going to Grand Forks now. Even Pembina.
Yeah,
Go there, get an MRI done. 2
Yeah.
days, you can get an MRI, and then they'll send you. Like if my brother-in-law went to Grand Forks, and they said it would take about 24 to 48 hours they'll email him the results.
Yeah.
He wasn't even out of Grand Forks, and he already had them.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then he brings him to his doctor
Yeah.
here, and then
Yeah.
then they look at it.
yeah.